All right. I'm about to go to the gym. I just wanted to talk quickly about the motivation in for someone, right? Especially for men. Um, I don't. I can't really speak on a woman's behalf because I'm not a woman. But for men, they look at men and they say, man, well, married men usually make more money than single men. And it's usually because they have to, right? Once you take on the responsibility of being married, it comes along with, a lot of times additional expense. Now, sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it does, right? You're going to have, another person, your spouse, um, potentially having kids, potentially going to have to buy or rent a bigger place to live. You're going to have to buy more food. It's just more and more and more consumption, right? So that has been a reason for guys traditionally to obviously work a lot harder, work longer hours, sacrifice their body if they're working more of a blue collar type job. And all because they looked at themselves and said, you know what, I have to make sure I provide a good living. I have to, I'm the main breadwinner maybe, and I want to make sure that my family and my kids or they're all taken care of, and then I can afford a home and I can afford, to save for the future, maybe for the college for my kids, and just so I can have money for vacations and things like that. So once you graduate into that section of life, your life becomes a lot more expensive. So you're going to have to likely work more, or you're going to have to do something that requires you to spend a lot of time, because you need to be generating money. So again, historically, it was just the man that pretty much worked. And so, the woman wasn't going to be providing much financial support. Now that's changed, right? There is more women who are not only working, but they are out earning men in many cases, right? So if the man, and this is really the whole takeaway from probably the whole feminism movement and everything, the conclusion that can be made is, if the man is not relied on for money, then the man is not needed. Okay. And that, again, that's not all women. All right. But I would say this, when you have women who can go out and work, they no longer are going to see men as, something that they need to be with. And so that's what's happened. And if you look at men, if they don't have a woman in their life, or if they don't have the prospect of having a partner or having a family, then they are most likely not going to be as economically productive. Most likely, right? They're going to work less hours, probably going to pay less in taxes. They're going to probably not look for like promotional opportunities and advancement opportunities. They're just kind of looking to do, it's not that they don't want to work, but it's just, hey, I'm only providing for myself. I don't have a family to look after. I'm not going to spend all my time sacrificing it for my job or the company or my career, right? Unless you really, really like your job and your career, and, that's where you want to spend most of your time. So all this is to say that, if men do not have, if they don't have someone that relies on them, they are going to see themselves as, why, they're going to ask the question of why, like, why work so hard? Why sacrifice so much? Why do I need to make more money? Why do I need to compete so hard? Because at the end of the day, if you, what good is a little bit more money if you don't have anyone to, no one's relying on you, you don't have kids, you don't have a wife, there's nothing additional, that you're just getting a little bit more money, right? And if you live a relatively basic life, a little bit more money is not really going to change your life. And you need a lot more money if you're going to be actually, that's why I look at people that are married or have kids. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to make a lot of money. You have to, right? Because otherwise you're not going to be able to afford a house. Kids obviously come with a lot more expenses, and you have to be making a decent amount of money to afford all that. And a lot of your time goes towards your kids as well, right? That you're not going to be able to spend that time with leisure or spend that time working, because you have to do things, for your kids. Pick them up from school, take them to school, go to their events, make sure that they're on the right path. All that stuff, takes time. So, I don't know what's going to happen, right? Your guys' opinion is probably just as valid as mine. But if, women, I think they're a little bit better at not having, they don't really need to have people relying on them, obviously. That's kind of a new thing for them. They've been traditionally reliant upon men, at least financially. And I think a lot of women like having their own financial independence. But obviously the big kind of issue with that is when women have financial freedom, then they don't choose to be in relationships a lot of the time. Maybe they'll get into a relationship, but they're only going to get into a relationship with the right type of guy, or someone that they find, attractive and makes good money or more money than them and is tall and all the, checkbox items, which most guys just do not match that criteria, right? So if women aren't forced to be with a guy, a lot of times they just won't, unless they get, like the Prince Charming type guy. So again, without a relationship for men, we already see it. Men are just kind of unplugging a little bit from society and not trying as hard, not going to be making as much money, and going to be just less productive in general. That's at least what I see. That's what the data shows. I mean, guys are not going to school as much. Guys are not earning as much. And so you have a little bit of a problem there. I don't know how you fix it. A guy, I think men in general, they want to feel useful. They want to feel like they're relied upon. That's in their nature. And if women are taking that away from them, then, they're gonna live a simpler lifestyle. They're not going to be searching out a family. They're going to be earning less. And I think that's, in the long run, is just bad for the economy, right? If you don't have guys going out there and trying to, earn more money and be productive and support a family, then, it's going to be more of an individualistic culture, less tax money, less families, less children, society in general. When you just have more single people and less family units, is a little bit more violent, right? Because you don't care as much about your neighbor. You're not concerned about your community because you don't have kids in it. You're not concerned about what the schools are doing because you don't have kids. So it just becomes a little bit less of a, safe, good community on average. What's the answer? I don't know. I just wanted to highlight that point, where I think it's good for men and women to have a purpose. But again, when men aren't needed, it becomes a little bit harder for them. I think women are enjoying having more financial freedom and flexibility, and the ability to kind of explore in their 20s and even in their 30s. But the same thing's true about them, right? If they don't really commit to anything as they get older, I think a lot of those people would say, well, I kind of regret not, maybe getting into a more serious relationship or not having kids, because they didn't have to. 50 years ago, you pretty much had to get into a relationship and have kids to be accepted. But now you don't have to. And people are, they're choosing not to. They're delaying it. And then after enough time goes by, you never do it, right? So let me know what you guys think. You can subscribe. I'm going to go to the gym, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.